Hello, Karen here, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I hope you enjoyed today's video. We're going to be doing some listening and speaking practice today. I talk about the schwa sound again in today's video, so if you haven't watched my video on this very important sound in English, then I suggest that you go watch that first. I'll put a link up here or up here. I think it's up here. I'll put a link up here and also down in the description box below. And I'll continue to talk about this schwa sound in future videos. So please go watch that video if you don't know what this sound is. And then just come back to this point in today's video. I think this is a good conversation to study because it's a very simple conversation. They don't say anything difficult. The questions are very simple. The answers are very simple. In fact, it could actually be a conversation that was in your very first English textbook. But here, it's just said in a very natural way, and they speak in a very typical Aussie way. So I think it's good practice both for listening and speaking. I'll play the file 4 times as per usual, but today I'll play it twice at the slower speed first and then another 2 times at the normal speed. And I'd like you to try and write down what you hear. And like I said, I don't think they say anything too difficult. So today we're really just going to focus on pronunciation. Okay, let's go.
What you doing?
Nothing.
You going out?
Yeah.
Where you going?
Just taking photos?
You gonna be back later tonight?
Yeah. Why?
No reason, eh? What you doing?
Nothing.
You going out?
Yeah.
Where you going?
Just taking photos?
You gonna be back later tonight?
Yeah. Why?
No reason, eh? What you doing?
Nothing.
You going out?
Yeah.
Where you going?
Just taking photos?
You gonna be back later tonight?
Yeah. Why?
No reason, eh? What you doing?
Nothing.
You going out?
Yeah.
Where you going?
Just taking photos?
You gonna be back later tonight?
Yeah. Why?
No reason, eh?
What you doing? Nothing. Are you going out? Yep. Where you going? Just taking photos. Are you going to be back later tonight? Yeah. Why? No reason, eh? How was that? Did you agree with me that they didn't say anything difficult today? Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Now let's go through each of the sentences that they said today. The first question was, what you doing?
What you doing?
Watcha. Now, watcha is just a way of writing what's actually being said. So here it's short for what are you? Watcha. What you doing?
What you doing?
And the next word is doing. Now, I've talked about this in a few different videos already. It's quite common to change the ing sound to the n sound. So it's the schwa sound and then the n sound. N, n, n. Doing, doing, doing. And remember, the schwa sound is never stressed. It's always relaxed. It's always on holidays. What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? So, what are you doing? These 4 words become 2. And so now the question sounds completely different. What are you doing? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing?
What you doing?
And then she replies with nothing.
Nothing.
So here, nothing, so the ing sound changes to the n sound again. So the schwa sound. Nothing. 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 And remember, it's relaxed, so it's not stressed, it's never stressed. And so the noth is the stressed syllable here. Nothing, nothing, nothing.
Nothing.
He then asks, are you going out?
You going out?
Now, are. Remember, in Australia, we don't tend to say the letter R or R, like pirates. We don't tend to say the letter R at the end of words. So here, the R sound, when you open your mouth, R, the R sound is replaced with the schwa sound. So it just becomes a. And then you, like I mentioned in the video that I asked you to watch at the beginning of this video, the word you becomes y. 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 So are you becomes aya. 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 Going. What did this change to? Going. 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 And then we have going out. So when we have a consonant sound at the end of the first word, so n here, and then a vowel sound at the beginning of the second word, so ow, we tend to join these two words to make one long word. So this becomes going out, going out, going out. And the entire question, are you going out? Are you going out? Are you going out?
You going out?
Now, the t sound at the end of out, he actually doesn't really say it. It's like you're about to say it, but then you stop yourself just before you make the t sound. Are you going out? Are you going out? Are you going out? Now, you don't have to speak like him. You don't have to speak like this. I'm just letting you know that this is how he says it, so that if you hear other people say it, then you know that this is what they're saying. Are you going out? Are you going out? Are you going out?
You going out?
And the woman replies with, yep.
Yeah.
And yep is just a more casual way of saying yes. And you can say this in a few different ways. It doesn't matter. So you can say yep with an e sound like egg, yep. Or you can say it with an up sound, so yup, yup. Or you can say it with our favorite schwa sound, yep, yep. So you can say it however way you want. Yep, yup, yep, 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 yep. I always say yep because yep, egg is just, it's like you're opening your mouth too much. And yup, it's like, like why? You just make the schwa sound so much easier. Yep, 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 yep.
Yeah.
Then the man asks, where you going?
Where you going?
So he's just asking, where are you going? Now remember, in Australia, we don't tend to say the letter R at the end of words. So where becomes where, where, where. And it doesn't even sound like he says the word R. And you becomes the y sound again. And going, the ing sound changes to the n sound again. So the schwa sound with the n sound. Going. So the whole question becomes, where you going? Where you going? Where you going?
Where you going?
And then she replies with, just taken photos.
Just taking photos.
Now, there are 5 things that I want to talk about here about this one sentence. Firstly, there's no subject. She didn't say I. She's answering his question, where are you going? So it's implied that she's talking about herself. She's just answering his question, where are you going? So she doesn't have to say, I'm going to. And she uses just here to show that she's not doing anything special. So she must do this all the time. Maybe photography is one of her hobbies. So she's just going to go out and take some photos. And she said taken. So the ing sound in taking has changed to the n sound again. Taken. And it actually sounds like the word taken. Now just ends with the t sound and taken starts with the same sound, t. And when there are 2 t sounds like this next to each other, the first t tends to be dropped. So instead of just taking, this becomes just taken. Just taken. Just taken. Just taken photos. 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 And lastly, she said taking photos, which is in the present continuous. Now, I don't like talking about grammar too much, but just quickly, you use present continuous when you're talking about things that are happening right now. I'm eating dinner. I'm recording this video right now. But you can also use it to talk about your future plans. I'm driving to my sister's place tomorrow. We're moving to Japan next year. I wish that was true, but it's not. It's just an example, unfortunately. If you want me to talk about this grammar point in more detail about present continuous, then let me know in the comments below.
Just taking photos.
And then he asks his last question. Are you going to be back later tonight? Are you going to be back later tonight?
You gonna be back later tonight?
Are you again becomes aya. 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 Gonna. Going to, when it's spoken, tends to be said as gonna. So this is just a way of writing what's being said. Are you gonna? Are you gonna? Are you gonna? Are you gonna be back? Are you gonna be back? Are you gonna be back? Later tonight. Now later. Remember, we don't tend to say the R sound at the end. So this becomes later. So it ends with the schwa sound. And the T sound is sort of somewhere between a T and a D. So it becomes later. Later. And tonight has the schwa sound. Tonight. 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 And the last T in tonight isn't really said here. So like with the word out that we talked about earlier, it's like you're about to say it, but then you stop yourself just before you're about to make the T sound. So this becomes tonight, tonight, tonight. And again, don't worry about this. You don't have to speak like him. It's perfectly fine to say tonight. I'm just letting you know that this is how he says it. And if you hear other people say this, then you know that this is what they're saying. And he says this very quickly. Are you going to be back later tonight?
You gonna be back later tonight?
So let's practice saying this a few times. Are you going to be back later tonight? Are you going to be back later tonight? Are you going to be back later tonight? And if you want to say it more like him, Are you going to be back later tonight? Are you going to be back later tonight? Are you going to be back later tonight?
You gonna be back later tonight?
Then she says, yeah, why? And he replies with, no reason, eh?
Why?
No reason, eh?
Now this A sound, sometimes you'll hear it at the end of sentences, and it usually doesn't mean anything. It just sort of ends the sentence. So it's just a sound. There's nothing special about it. Now the consonant sound at the end of reason, n, and the vowel sound a tends to be joined together to make one long word. So this whole sentence actually sounds like one long word. No reason, eh?
No reason, eh?
Now let's say the whole conversation together. I'll say it once at a slightly slower speed, and then one more time at a more natural speed. And then after that, I'd like you to say it one last time with them at the slightly slower speed. Okay, let's go. What you doing? Nothing. Are you going out? Yep. Where you going? Just taking photos. Are you going to be back later tonight? Yeah, why? No reason, eh? What you doing? Nothing. You going out? Yep. Where you going? Just taking photos. You going to be back later tonight? Yeah, why? No reason, eh?
What you doing?
Nothing.
You going out?
Yeah.
Where you going?
Just taking photos?
You gonna be back later tonight?
Why?
No reason, eh?
Please give me a thumbs up if you found this video useful so that I know that you like these types of videos, so then I can make more of them for you. Thank you for watching today. Keep practicing, stay safe out there, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye.